Part 2. Here we go. Topic 3. Men. If all the men in your life were to suddenly vanish, what would things be like? Would your life be easier or harder? Could you still afford to live your current lifestyle? What have the men in your life sacrificed in order to give you a better life? How do these same men contribute to patriarchy and rape culture? The concept of toxic masculinity, and most of feminism's understanding of masculinity, comes from the book Masculinities by Robert Connell. Connell clearly disliked masculinity and later transitioned to a woman, taking the name Raewyn Connell. Do you think this is a reliable source of information on masculinity? Why do women and feminists constantly go around dictating what is a real man? Why does a real man often equate to a man who benefits women? Shouldn't men be defining themselves? If men are sociopaths who use violence to dominate women, then why do so many feminist causes like He for She call for men to help and protect women? Why ask for sociopaths to have compassion? Have you ever had to set aside your emotions in order to help others? Men have to do this for most of their lives. Would you consider this emotional maturity or emotional stuntedness? Have you ever felt sexual attraction towards a man who was crying or a man who was being emotionally vulnerable? If not, you are sexually selecting for males who do not express feelings of pain or vulnerability. If feminists want men to be more open about their emotions, then why do you start acting like assholes whenever men try to express themselves? Is it possible for feminism to help men without blaming them or telling them to be more like women? Men work tirelessly to provide for their families, but without fathers, families are dependent on the government for handouts. Is this what feminists wanted all along? Men are the ones who defend their loved ones to the death. Doesn't it harm society when you break down your positive relationships with men? Will feminists defend us from invaders when all the able-bodied men are gone? A man's role is to protect and provide for the people in his tribe. A man from outside your tribe may or may not harm or take advantage of outsiders in order to benefit his own people. Why is it that feminists can't tell a difference between these two men? Is a male politician only capable of catering to the needs of men? If that's true, why should anyone vote for a female politician? People do not feel compassion for people they perceive as wealthy, powerful, or privileged. By painting all men as wealthy, powerful, and privileged at the expense of women, are feminists destroying people's ability to feel compassion for men? And are feminists legitimizing violence against men? Topic 4. Men's rights. Without the men's rights movement, would you be aware of the issues adversely affecting men? Do you think feminism would ever get around to addressing those issues without outside pressure? The largest arm of the men's rights movement is actually in India. Does that now make it racist to criticize MRAs, since most of us are brown men and women? Why do feminists constantly confuse pickup artists with men's rights activists? This would be like not being able to tell the difference between a gold digger and a women's rights activist. Campaigning against men's rights issues hurts all men, including black men, trans men, other minorities, and those men's families. How does it feel to marginalize these groups? The strongest indicator for violence, drug abuse, teen pregnancy, suicide, incarceration, and lack of education is fatherlessness. In what ways has feminism contributed to this epidemic of fatherless homes? Why do feminists never advocate to reunite fathers with their families? Topic number 5. Patriarchy. What is the patriarchy? How is it different from blaming all men for all of women's problems? If all men suddenly vanished, would there still be a patriarchy? A position isn't scientific unless it can be falsified. What would it take to convince you that there is no patriarchy controlling everything? If we live in a patriarchy that benefits all men at the expense of all women, then why is feminism allowed to exist, especially in our universities? never mind the millions in government funding. This may require some extra thought or research, but what is the difference between patriarchy and capitalism? Alright guys, that's it for part 2. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.